was so stupid in the movie, she couldn't remember a line or a direction or anything. And about 14 years later, she went to jail twice because she would get the drug deal. They used it for a career. She married this elderly guy, and he took her deer hunting. And he says, when you see a deer, go around behind me, you know. And he said, there's a deer, here's a deer, you know. And he picked up the gun, she walked in front of the rifle, and he shot her between the eyes. And they had a car, he got off completely.
Yeah.
And I believe that she was so stupid, that's what she did. You know?
There's a very uplifting story here, which you'll read.
Yes, everybody in the movie got killed. Sardu, James O'Brien got killed right after the movie was finished. Bijou got killed. Death on actors, you know. I plan to make a movie where we really kill the actors the last day and don't have to pay them.
So that'll be your final film.
My final film. Yes,
you did talk to us a little bit off camera here. You said that, you know, nowadays you think you see worse movies than this on regular television.
Oh, I see more. Yeah, I see on cable. I see torture. You know, our torture is mild. I see beheading, you know, I see whipping, you know. When it opened, it was quite shocking. And most of the reaction to this movie was women, and their reaction to it was, why don't you make a movie where the girls tie up men and torture? And in fact, I have a script which it's about this 16-year-old girl. Do you know the French porn where they send these girls to finishing schools because they're very bad? They never touch them sexually, but they give them spankings and all that. And the president's daughter, candidate for president, has a daughter called Devilay Tight. And when people interview her, you know, the press comes over there and she says, get that fucking dildo out of my face and I'll shove it up your ass, you slimy piece of shit. So he sends her to one of these schools, you know, and they introduce her to the curriculum, the enemas, piano lessons with enemas and all that stuff, you know, and she turned around and she's crying, and they said, well, she'll be very easy to train. And she said, no, motherfucker, this is the best school my father ever sent me to. And she rips off her tailored woman to reveal she's in leather underneath, and it becomes the ransom of Big Chief to Samuel Clemens' story, where they kidnapped this guy's son, who's such a brat. They have to pay the guy to give him back, you know. And she starts running the school, but she's such a despicable S&M person, they expel her, you know. And she's all alone with her little S&M doll. But she discovers real sex at the end. There's a boys' school across the road. So she gets all the boys to unlock the girls from the girls' school. And all the parents and teachers are going crazy. And they find out they're having a Coke and cookie dance down in there. You know, they're not doing anything real bad.
Well, you need a couple extras for this film. We work for free.
Yes, well, you work too. I have a policy of paying everybody.
Oh, okay. Well, we will take payment.
No, guys make films. You can have a copy of my friend's film there.
Oh, excellent.
We can take 2 copies. You left them here because he can't give them away.
Well, we will appreciate that.
Yeah, I wish you would take them. And in the film, the big problem with the film is he had everybody working for nothing, and he had supposed to have a lot of nude and lesbian scenes with the girls. When they were shooting, none of the girls would take their clothes off.
No.
Except one girl. There's only one naked girl in the movie.
That's not exciting.
No.
No, but they have a scene which is supposed to be a big lesbian scene. The girls sit around and talk.
Yeah. Did you run any of that problems when you were making Bloodsucking Freaks or any of the other movies?
I found out girls, they just come and take their clothes off.
The ones that are in the cage? It's pretty funny. They're just in there like yelling and screaming and being weird.
I think Chris McLeod, the girl with the blonde girl with the heart.
Yeah.
She just sent me. I just got a business card. She's running an editorial service now. You know, and she was Jamie Gillis's boyfriend. You know. I do better. I did a show with Jamie Gillis, you know, and he has pictures of his private parts, and all these gay guys were coming up and you know, they're giggling, and I don't, you know, so this show has been bad. But all those girls are 70 years old. I've never had trouble. I barely ever had to ask a girl to take her clothes off. I mean, they come in the office. I better leave her name out, but the girl became a famous star. She went to Yeshiva University, Yeshiva High School, so you can check out. And I swear she used to take her underwear off before she came in the office. You know, and I said I wasn't going to hire a 14-year-old girl. But she went on to do a nudie right after that, you know. But I've had, you know, I had actually Blood-Sucking Freaks. We had 800 people come, and I had to tell the girls, no, leave your clothes on, because we had
You did mention, you know, you see a lot of beheadings and torture and stuff on movies today. What is it about Blood-Sucking Freaks that holds?
Basically, you know, that, it was. I did it. I thought it was very funny.
It is very funny.
Yeah.
I love that movie.
There's no lulls.
It's one of my favorite, really, horror movies.
Like
it's
my
in my
jokes,
top.
like, did you ever get a little head before?
Yeah.
You know, stuff like that.
Ralphus is amazing.
Ralphus is amazing.
What was he like as a person, as an actor?
Wonderful.
He's crazy. He's so funny.
Ralph is a wonderful guy. And, you know, I'll tell you a story about that situation. We hired Hervé before Paradise Island.
Oh, wow.
The blade.
And he came over, and we was hanging around the office. And then when we got the money at the last minute to shoot the picture, so I said, let's shoot the picture. And I called Hervé up. And he had left a number in Paris. So I called him up, you got to come back.
Yeah.
What did you go to Paris for? He says it's easier for a little person to get laid in France. So I says, come back. He says, you got to pay half the ticket, $300 at the time to come back. At that exact moment, Louis walked in, you know.
Oh, he's perfect.
And I didn't see any difference between one perverted dwarf and another.
What's the actor's name who played Ralphus? What's the name of the actor who played Ralphus?
Louis Diazo.
He was great. I think you won with that casting.
That's good because Sardu, Seamus O'Brien and him worked together on all the scenes.
Oh, really? Okay.
Sardu was doing off-Broadway, played the uncle, and I forgot that four character I can't think of it. Played for years, and he was in a lot of major movies playing character. And when he got murdered, I went to his wake, and he was Irish, so his family smuggled in all this food and liquor. I spent about 20 hours there getting drunk. And Louis died. He had a heart attack. Well, you know the story. We had the closing party. We had the script girl had a duplex apartment, so downstairs was the normal party. Upstairs, everybody was doing coke and having sex. And Viju walked in with, I don't think it was Rod Stewart, but a guy that looked like Rod Stewart.
Someone that really wanted to be Rod Stewart.
Well, there was a couple of them around New York, and she said, we're getting married, this is Rod Stewart. So she said, what's upstairs? I said, there's orgies and coke. She said, can I go up? I said, well, if you go up, you have to take your clothes off and do something. That's the rule. She said, I'm going to look for a minute. So she comes up, you know, and she sits down next to me, and everybody says, you have to take your clothes off, you know. And so she starts to get undressed, and I took her head and I pushed her head down. I'll tell you, you know, and it was pretty boring, you know, and then suddenly I got this great BJ, you know, and then I look over and Biju's on the floor fucking Louis. You know, so I said, who's giving me a blow? I looked down, it was our electrician. I said, Benny, get the hell off my neck, you know. You know, because, and then I look about at Viju, she's got about 8 people on, you know, she's overqualified, you know, one in each hand. And this guy that's supposedly Rod Stewart, I mean, probably wasn't, comes up and says, Viju, oh my God, what are you doing? And she takes her dick out of her mouth. And she said, I'll be with you in a couple of minutes. And he ran out of there. And she looked at me, she said, do you think he's mad at me? But after that, she went on to make...
Porn?
She made Let My Puppets Come, starring her and Louis.
Really? Is that still available?
Yeah, I think you can find that. Right. I never watched it, but since I see their screw in person.
Been there, done that.
Sylvester Stallone was not tonight, Charlie or something.
Italian Stallion?
Yeah, he was in a porn film. And they asked him, were you really in a porn film? They're charging $2,500 for showing. He said, for $2,500, I'll come over and fuck in person. You know. But at that time, I had a lot of friends that made porn, and I found them very boring. I mean, sit around. If you sit there 8 days watching people have sex 8 hours, you don't feel like having sex later. I was on this film, I Don't Do Windows, that Jerry Damiano did, so I was helping him, and Sharon Mitchell was starring in it. And the first day was Mechanical Day, where they had all sorts of devices.
Okay.
And the next day was Ethnic Day. They had Chinese, Mongolian, guys with spears. And the third day was Dyke Day, you know, and I think there was another day, I forgot it was. And she's through doing this like 15 hours a day. She comes over to me and says, Joel, I really think you're cute. I'll buy you dinner tonight. And I looked at the assistant director and said, really, I have Bobby over there. I mean, how could you be interested in a girl? I mean, some people would.
Right.
You know, but I wasn't. Those were the old days, you know. But, we had a great party with cast party for the swingers upstairs, and I promised to sleep with every girl in the movie, but I collapsed. I woke up about noon the next day with one hopeful waiting. I said, I really got to go home. And one of the guys on the movie had this girl, and he said, come on, I want more guys to bang her. She's only banged 5 guys, you know. About a year later, he says, I want you to come up to my house in Westchester to meet my wife and child. You know, so I go up there and I walk in this nice, and I go in, and then suddenly I recognize the wife, and I said, "That's." He said, "Forget about that." that was the girlfriend.
Yeah.
Are you one of my fans?
Yes.
Good. Then you can buy a picture.
Yeah. Well, I guess we should leave him. Let's get a line here of fans. Dying.